I basically did ayahuasca. It was insane. I was at like a crossroads where I was directing so much, and like directing pays money, unlike music. So I was like, should I be a director or should I keep doing music and I'm not allowed to release or whatever? So I'm like, I've been at a crossroads, and I realized just like how important music is to me, and I need to keep doing music. And everyone was just like this girl, that's your takeaway from ayahuasca? Like,
welcome to the Indie Pulse. I'm here with Liz, also known as Revenge Wife, and we are at Baker Falls in New York. How are you doing, Liz?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I'd like to start by asking you, can you tell us a bit more about yourself and about Revenge Wife?
Would introduce myself as a musician. I mean, it's like kind of tricky because I've been doing music for so long. So I have another project as well called Holychild, and I did that for like 10 years, and then I've been doing Revenge Wife now for 5 years. I guess there was overlap. Well, I guess Holychild was 8 years. I don't know, whatever. But I started Holychild in 2012 with my bandmate, and I don't consider myself only a musician, though music is so important to me. I am a songwriter. I love writing music. I wrote a song for Future. It's called Xanax Damage. I co-wrote that, and I feel so proud of that. And I love co-writing for other artists. Though now that I moved to New York, I've been here for 2 years. I've not been doing that so much. I just feel like I have been pretty insular here, working on my own stuff. And yeah, I'm working on my own music, and I'm working on an album right now. But I also direct videos, and I love doing that. And I've made like over 60 music videos.
Do you direct your own music videos as well?
I do, yeah. I direct all of the Revenge Wife music videos as one long sequential story. So I'm on part 15. I just wrote 16 and 17, and I need to shoot them. So it's like a long form. I watched Boyhood a long time ago, and like I just like couldn't get over the fact that it took them 12 years to make that film. I was like, oh my god, 12 years.
The
like,
most
this is
insane
amazing.
soundtrack.
Like, it's so good. I was like obsessed. And so art that takes that long like is my kink. And I've been doing that with Revenge Wife, with the music video process.
How much time have you been shooting so far for the 16 or 17 episodes? On how many years?
I started in 2020, in like January 2021. So it's been like 4 years.
And do you have like a storyline already in mind, or are you like inventing every episode and going with the flow?
I kind of end everyone with a cliffhanger, and I intentionally do that. And then when I start up next time, I'm like, okay, so the cliffhanger was that, so now where does it go? So it's not totally planned, but I have a lot of elements and things that I like. And yeah, now it's like in an alien world, like so it's like it's kind of like horror, aliens. It's getting to its own weird place.
How would you explain the story of Revenge Wife? Where did it come from when you started 5 years ago, you said?
I actually started writing for Revenge Wife in like 2017 because I was really frustrated with Holychild, because released an EP. I mean, like, to get like super into it, we had a record contract that was 5 albums.
That's a lot of albums.
Yeah. So it was like one album with options, option for the second, option for the third. So it wasn't like locked in, you know how it works. So we had 5 options. And there wasn't anything written about EPs. So we released an EP. We released our first album. It did really well in 2015. It was called The Shape of Brat Pop to Come. And then we were like, oh, we want to do a collab EP. We want to do an EP with other people. We did that. We had like RAC on it, Kate Nash, a bunch of really cool people. And then we released it with our album, with our label in 2016. And because there wasn't a budget for it, they were able to be like, oh, we didn't give you a budget. And then they were like, didn't do so well. Didn't do as well as the album last year. And so because it didn't do so well, they kind of like all of their confidence in us went away immediately. So we had just had this amazing year in 2015. Then we did the collab EP, we released it like a year later and it didn't do so well. There was no budget. There's a huge budget for our album. So then they were like, yeah, we don't know about you guys anymore. So then they were like, you need to keep writing. And they kept us in this like writing place for another year and a half. And that's when I was like, we're writing so many music. We were like swapped around with all these different A&R guys. Like we weren't allowed to release music. We had this song called Bathroom Bitch that they wouldn't let us release too. And a bunch of other songs that ended up being the songs that we released. Because of that, I felt like, what's the point in writing music? Because we weren't just like, we wrote like hundreds of songs. So it just felt like there's no way to get them out. I don't know. Just like, it felt stifling.
Was it a major record label?
It's Glassnote.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And like, I have a good relationship with them now. And, you know, they have their own reasons and whatever. Like, who knows what they were thinking. Again, because we're dealing with A&R guys, so we're just dealing with them telling us random things. You're like, oh, what's true? So because of that, like I started writing for my own thing. I basically did ayahuasca in 2017 now, early 2017. I did ayahuasca and like...
How was it?
It was insane. Have you ever done it?
I haven't, but I've heard.
Are you intrigued?
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. Would you ever do it?
I think so. Like if there's a moment in my life I need like something to change or like reinvent or everything, or if I'm with someone that knows it and knows how it is, I'm always open to like try things, I guess.
It's a really good tool to have in your toolbox. It is like physically and emotionally intense. Like it was so crazy. And I did it like, I was supposed to do it 2 nights in a row. Because that's kind of how they do it. Like you kind of stack it. I couldn't do it the next night.
It was so intense the first time.
It was so intense. I literally had a fever in the morning. Like I was physically, you kind of do like a cleanse before. I took it really seriously. So I hadn't eaten very much for like a month. And so I did ayahuasca and I like, you know that, it's like not only doing ayahuasca, you're like, and I'm in San Diego, so it's like not like I'm in Peru. And like, you know, when you do those things like in the morning, like everyone's like, how is your experience? Like, tell me like what you're going through. And everyone's like, I'm going through a breakup, so like I really needed this time. Or like people are going through intense things. And then when they get to me, they're like, how was your trip? And I was like, it was so insane. Like I realized a few things. Like it was a very feminine experience for me and we were really emotional. And the other thing I realized was I was at like a crossroads where I was directing so much and like directing pays money, unlike music. So I was like, should I be a director or should I keep doing music and I'm not allowed to release or whatever? And so I'm like, you know, I've been at a crossroads and I realized just like how important music is to me and I need to keep doing music. And everyone was just like this girl... That's your takeaway from ayahuasca, like, but it was so profound.
But it's very profound. It's actually when we talk to artists, like other guests we've had in the podcast, it's always about like, is there like music? Is it the only thing, or is there something else? How do you manage like jobs? How do you manage to like fund your music career or everything?
Totally.
And you're asking always, can I go all in or not? And
yes.
I guess like it's probably what you were asking yourself at that time is like, what should you do?
Yeah, I exactly. I know and you need those guiding moments. So that was a really guiding moment. I mean, literally the next day I bought a piano. And then I remember like I like put it right next to my bed in my little bedroom. And I like woke up and I was like, what is this thing? It felt like it had this like huge energy to it. And I was like, whoa, furniture can have like spirit. And
interesting. How do you choose your piano? Did you like order online? Did you go to a place?
I just got a free one on Craigslist. That's how I got all my pianos.
So you know it has like life. It has lived.
Oh yeah. And I got some guys to like deliver it up these crazy stairs. I lived in Highland Park at the time, so I got a piano and then I learned how to play piano on that piano. I wrote so many songs on that. I wrote, for anyone who knows Holychild, I wrote Fight For Me. That was one of the first songs I wrote on piano by myself. I wrote Patron Saint. I wrote a lot of songs on that. It like taught me how to write by myself. I hadn't been doing that before. So because before I had a bandmate, he and I were writing together, and we also did a lot of sessions because like the label didn't trust us all the time. So they put us through like, I think I've done like 300 sessions in my life.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you like collaborating with other people for songwriting?
I love it sometimes.
Okay, it depends on the person, I guess.
It really depends on the person, and like I'm really quick to be like I'm like in it for art and art only. So like if a person starts like trying to be like, oh well, pop form is this, or like we need a post chorus, like I hate that shit. I'm like, I can't deal with it, and then I'll be a little bit judgmental like about their opinions, and they'll lose my trust that way. But it's hard sometimes because like I think I have so much that I want to say, and then like I don't know, but then sometimes when it's hard, that challenge is good.
And at that time when you did that experience, you were writing only for Holychild, right? Or were you also starting to think about some solo stuff?
Holychild did pretty well. So like, for instance, like we were on tour one time, we got a call. They're like, Iggy Azalea is writing her next album. Can we fly you guys out to Malibu and you guys can write for Iggy? So we were like, we have 4 days off in Denver. Our band stayed in Denver. We took a flight. We went to Malibu. We wrote for a couple days for Iggy Azalea. I don't think anything made it on the album. We wrote for K-pop artists a lot. Like I know a lot of K-pop was influenced by early Holychild at the time. So we were getting requests like that. I remember Chainsmokers wanted to do some tracks together. So we were writing for other people just because like you're in it and people ask. So yeah, there was a little bit of that.
And how did you go to that point of junction between Holychild and Revenge Wife? Are you still like writing and making things with Holychild? Or are you like full on Revenge Wife now? Like
I am full on Revenge Wife. I mean, the other thing about Holychild is that it was me and my ex-boyfriend. So okay. It's just hard.
Yes.
Like
do we need more information?
Yeah, you get it. It makes it so hard. You're like, we're in different places. Like, I mean, honestly, we started like dividing what we were listening to when we weren't together anymore. Like he was listening to totally different things and I was like full on in this. Like I think the interesting thing about Holychild is like it's like 1 foot pop, 1 foot all weird, and like maybe people think I was the pop person, but I don't think I am. Like I love pop melodies and that is so me, but I'm a weird girl, and so I would always be like throwing the weird stuff. And my bandmate is an amazing producer, and he was really good at doing like pop production. So yeah, we kind of like came together on that. But then we started going. We needed a break, and then it kind of got messy at a certain point, and then it was just like, fuck this.
And with Revenge Wife, you went on full on like independent, or did you start working with a label the same way you were working with Holychild?
I tried. I messaged some labels. Nobody responded. And I did have management for the first couple of years, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it on my own now. And now now my team consists of my distribution, which is Symphonic. I have Sync with Terrorbird. My attorney is now like, my old attorney is like partially managing Paramore. So I kind of like try to rope him in sometimes, but he's pretty busy. So I like don't, I think I'm at the point right now where I would like to get a label involved. And I've grown it a lot on my own.
And also, as you were saying, you're directing videos, so you also have this like visual aspect in what you're doing. So how has it helped you like develop your audience and everything? I know you're like pretty strong on social media as well, so it's interesting to know, how did you intersect like your music with the visual part of it?
Yeah, like the visual part of it came because I was just friends with so many musicians who were like, oh, I like your video, can you do one for me? And at this point, I mean, I haven't been doing so many videos in New York again. Like, I'm not so tapped into the music community here yet, or I don't really understand it like LA. Like, it's so...
When did you move to New York?
2 years ago. You know, like, LA is like everybody's a musician. So it feels different here. But yeah, I did a lot of videos for that reason. And I know, like, I do videos, I write, I like have my social media going. Like, to me, I'm like, no brainer. Like, I should have management and agents. Like, I went viral for my live show. I'm like, why don't I have an agent? Like, I don't understand what the climate is right now. I've been trying to connect with these people, and to me, I'm like, no brainer. Like, I'll make you money. Like, come on over. Team Revenge Wife. It seems so clear to me, but nobody has really come out of the woodwork who I would want to work with yet. So I don't get it.
And you can do a lot on your own. So for now, I guess like you prefer to like keep it to the level you want before you find like the right person.
I would definitely like to bring on some person. Like every year I'm like, my goal is to bring on one person, maybe a person this year. Like, and like constantly, and I'll have calls and talks with people like, oh, do you know any managers? I think right now my plan is to just finish my album, and then I am talking to like a couple labels, and then I'll just like show them the album and see if they want to work with it.
It's an interesting part. How do you choose who you want to work with? Like, do you have like very precise criteria, or like how would you choose someone to work with you?
Well, my first way that I would choose someone to work with me is like how enthusiastic they are about my vision. That's number one. Like, do they see what I'm trying to do? I'm not trying to like be like anybody else, so I don't want them to push me to do something that other people do. And I have my own way of doing things. Like, I loved working with my old management, but like, you know, they were like, oh, you know, I'd be like, all right, what can we do, guys? And they're like, post more on TikTok. I was like, I don't want to hear that. Like, let's say something else. Like, I want them to...
Do you think you need someone creative with you, like talking? Or do you need someone like more business? Or
I need someone more business. I'm so creative. So it would be ideal to have someone who's like taking meetings, finding opportunities for me. That's the other thing. Like, how enthusiastic, how much do they see the vision? How much can they like help me? And even think outside the box, like, oh, you know, she's thinking about like, oh, she can direct. Oh, this brand wants to do that. Like, give me some brand money. Like, that would be sick. I had a really, really great manager with Holychild. We had an amazing team. Great manager, great label. Like, despite the pushback, like, they really did push our first album. Great agents. So my bar is really high.
Makes sense. I think it's important, like, to not settle to someone that won't bring something positive to your project and will more like bring you down, even in terms of mood. I guess it's something like common to a lot of artists, like trying to look someone that can push you and help you, but is enthusiastic, as you were saying, about what you were doing and bring something else.
Yeah. It's hard to find. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. Like, if you know anyone who
okay.
agents,
we'll let you know. We'll let you know if we think about anyone. So,
yeah, like
interesting.
I really would like an agent, but yeah, finding someone who's enthusiastic and then who can like add. And every time I work with someone, I'm like, okay, well, like, let me see a 6 month to year proposal. What would you do for the next 6 months? And I see who they would bring in, and it's like you're always weighing like experience and relationships versus eagerness.
It's
Ideally, you have both. Yeah, but a lot of times it's like, this person's really inexperienced, but they're super eager. I would give a person a chance like that.
Cool. That's a good piece of advice, because I think like a lot of artists, when they're sometimes looking for someone that maybe has a lot of experience and not like factoring in how like enthusiastic the person is.
It's so funny, like with Holychild, we literally like we went viral like in the equivalent of 2012, 2013, and I guess it was 2013, and we got to #1 on Hype Machine. That's how we got signed.
Blog era.
Great era. Yeah, exactly, right?
I know. I created my blog in 2013.
What blog was it?
It was called Indiflagration. It's for like indie, like rock, folk, pop. And now like it's like blogs are. It's hard. But it's still interesting, because I love writing about music. But
so cool. Yeah, I love great music writers. So because that happened, then there was like essentially a bidding war. Like, we talked to every label. When we played at Rockwood, that was our first New York play. It was packed with industry people, like this label, Interscope, Columbia, RCA, every label. And I remember being on stage and being like looking out at all these men who just were clearly music industry people and like being like, you guys, like I felt so sly about it and like in control.
That's interesting. So you didn't feel like stressed. You were just like,
not that show. Then we played CMJ like a couple of weeks later and I was stressed about them. But when we played in this room, I was like, I've got you guys in the palm of my hand. and then we signed with Glassnote, and then we signed with WME, and we had an amazing attorney. And then we spoke to like 50 managers. We spoke to Kings of Leon's managers. I remember speaking to Maroon 5's manager, Cam something. I don't know. Should I like not rat people out? He was so funny when we met him with him. He had like a baseball bat that was like miniature, and he just like he was like, I always take meetings with my baseball bat in my hand, and we were like, and he like I know, and he like had this baseball bat in his hand the whole meeting. He's like smacking the baseball bat. We're like, okay, like we left the meeting. We're like, that was so weird. Like what, like.
I don't know if there are still people like that, like in the music industry. I feel like people have like tuned down a lot. No, I don't know. Maybe there are still like crazy people on the industry part, but I haven't.
I think that crazier people aren't as successful anymore.
Yeah. Right?
Like this guy was obviously successful. We took so many meetings at that point. Yeah, I forget where I was going with this, but
I want to go back a bit to how you discovered music and how you knew that you loved music and you wanted to do more than just listening to music. I would love to like to go back to that. Do you know where it comes from for you?
Kind of. I mean, it's such a lifelong journey, my relationship with music. I'm sure you feel the same way, and like anybody who feels that way, but like anyone who's probably even listening to this because
for sure
we're all obsessed. Like I was obsessed with music. Like I remember my first song that I was like, this song was like everybody's doing a brand new dance now, come on baby, you remember it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my god, I was obsessed with that song when I was like in dance class as a 2-year-old. Like that song would come on and I would be like, yes, like this song. And then the first band I really think I got into was Oasis with What's the Story Morning Glory when I was in 3rd grade. And I remember literally being made fun of by this girl being like, you're obsessed with Oasis, because I couldn't stop talking about it and listening to it.
Also very great pop melody, so probably that part of your love of music and what you love in music came from that, and not only that band, but yeah,
oh my gosh,
that's a sign.
Oasis, those not only like pop pop melodies up and down, like even the guitar riffs, like you listen to that album and any person could sing back every guitar solo.
That's true.
They're so good. Like there's such a, I've covered, oh my god, I was in that album was so important to me, and I was in Manchester, England playing, and I covered So Sally can wait, she knows it's too
Don't
late,
Look Back in Anger,
as
right?
we're walking on by. Yeah, and oh my god, it was so insane. Like everybody's singing it. I was like, okay, I know I'm in Manchester, but I have to cover Oasis. They mean so much to me.
Do you know it's I think it became a football hymn, like in Manchester they sing it in the stadiums.
Oh, like Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah.
See, all these like songs that are connected to sports stuff, I never know, and then I'm like, damn it, I didn't even know. I had no idea. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's crazy, but that's such a great song.
It's such a good song.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it came from that, and how did you get to that point where you started, like, I don't know, singing or writing? Or
it was like kind
music?
of a roundabout way. Like it came from that, but then like obsession with music continued. Like from there, I remember Savage Garden, Third Eye Blind at that time. Then I was a little bit older. I was never really, I mean, Spice Girls happened. I was like, oh yeah, cool. And then I got super into emo when I was in middle school. And I'm listening to like Elliott Smith and Bright Eyes and Saves the Day. And then I got really into Ted Leo and the Pharmacist. Do you know Ted Leo?
No, I don't.
And like then I went into like jam bands and Fish and Bella Fleck and Mo, and Then I'm like listening to rap and like hip hop from San Francisco,
Just
like
many different influences for like very different types of music, right?
everything. I would listen to like so much. I remember when I was like 12, maybe 11, I told myself I have to stop asking people what they listen to because it's depressing. And some people you're like, it was like such a point of how I would connect with people. Like, what do you listen to? And then I felt like I could talk about anything, I would get it in, and then I'd be like, okay, I grew up horseback riding. So I listened to country music growing up too, like American country music from the 90s, just such a good era for country. I was obsessed with like all the oldies stations. I was ravenous for music. I would go to pawn shops with $20 and get 20 CDs based on like, the album art, and go home and listen to everyone. Like I would Napster came out, I was like, fuck yeah.
You can get as much music as you can and for free. So
yeah, I was stoked about that. Like I remember finding Andrew Bird and the Mars Volta when I was in high school and really loving that. Like it was so ravenous. Simultaneously, I was in choruses like in middle school, and I was singing, and I went to band camp for voice when I was in 8th grade. And then when I was in high school, my first job was at the instrument store, or the music store, but like really it was for instruments in my hometown. So I was around like all the local musicians in my hometown, which is a weird group of people. And I was shy about music though. I remember I was taking guitar lessons, and my teacher was like, "Why are you taking lessons?" And he wanted me to say that I wanted to be like a songwriter, I think. And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "No, tell me why." And I was like, "I don't know why." And I was like,
do you know why now?
Yeah. And I kind of felt it then too, but I was just like, I don't know. And I was kind of in and out. I was in like an all girls group too in high school, where we would like sing like ABBA medleys, and like at nursing homes, and like at walkathons at like 8 a.m. when the like people would like walk, we'd be like there with our headsets on, like, hey, like singing ABBA. So I did that, which was like performance and dance, but I actually grew up as a dancer. So I was always dancing, and dance was like my serious thing, and music was my thing that I did on the side. And I also went to school with a lot of really talented singers, and one girl is like in Death Becomes Her right now, Kaylee Cronin. Hey Kaylee, she's so talented. And I think because I was going to school with this like insane Broadway singer, and grew up with her, like she was like that as when I was like in 8th grade, I was like, I'm not a singer, Kaylee's a singer. So I was singing and taking voice lessons, but it was always so I could be like in the ensemble and like dance in the background. And then when I went to college, I was dancing. And again, dance is such a connection with music too. Like my dance teachers were always like these cool girls listening to Radiohead. So I was listening to all their music when I was younger too. But then in college, I was dancing again. And I mean, I had this one college boyfriend, and then he and I would like jam together with his friends. And I was like, okay, jamming's fun. And then when I met Louis, who eventually became my bandmate, I met him like right when I was almost done with college. We went to the same school. We weren't friends though, or we didn't know each other. And when we finally met, I was painting actually. And I was like showing my paintings in all these galleries in New York. And he was like, "Oh, I heard you're a painter. I have this like."
You didn't know you were also a dancer and also a
well,
singer.
He knew I was a dancer because we met in my dance class. He was like the accompanist. So he was like, "I know you're," yeah. He's like, "I heard you're a painter. Could you paint these practice spaces for us?" So I painted these practice spaces, and then he came in and jammed, and then I jammed with him. And then he was like, "Oh, you can come up with melodies really fast." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then that's how I started songwriting.
And it's interesting because you said you were listening to music from like very different areas and genres and everything. How did you get into a peculiar like current, or how did you decide what you were going to like write and what kind of music you were going to do?
That's such a good question, and I don't think I ever like did decide. Like I just let it be whatever it wants to be, and then it was like, okay, cool. And a lot of and Louis took care of all the production, so like his contribution was the production, and I didn't really have so many thoughts on that at the time.
And do you remember the first track that you made and produced and listened to, and you were like, okay, we love this one and we want to release it?
I do, yeah. There's a song called Watching Waiting. The music video, I think, is on Vimeo. We pulled it down, but it's a really old Holychild song. It was like one of the first songs that we wrote, and I wrote all of the melodies for it, and the chorus is really powerful. And after we wrote that song, it was like, okay, this is a song. Actually, like Louis, he had taken it, we were the same age, but he took a year off to tour with his high school band. So I graduated, and then he was like, I still have a year left. So he was going to be recording his music and the music we were writing as his like senior thesis. And so he was including a bunch of the songs that I wrote on it. And he was like, you're not really a singer since you just kind of like casually sing. So I'm going to take those songs and have someone else sing them. And I was kind of like, okay, like I don't love that, but I guess whatever. And I realized like, oh, okay, I really want to do music. And then like some things worked out. And
do you remember the moment when you realized, okay, yeah, this could be not a career, but this could be, okay, there's something happening here. I'm feeling like people are connecting with it and I want to go like all in?
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So we were in DC. That's where we like were living in all of this when we first met. And Louis was friends. He was like, I think this is like flash forward a little bit. And he's like, I think we should do a band. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I think it should be called Holychild, because I had a sweatshirt that said Holychild. I just really liked it. He's like, okay. And then he's like, I think you should move to DC and we should record an EP. And I was like, okay. And then like right when we were making that decision, I remember I took the train down to DC, and Louis grew up playing shows with Young the Giant. So Young the Giant was in DC playing 930 Club, and 930 Club is just so iconic. And we were like backstage, and everybody was introducing me as the lead singer of Holychild. And I was like, oh, okay, like
it just started, right?
It just started. I was like, all right. Like, and there's all these business people. And like, I remember we met, do you know Ben Adelson? He had managed Young the Giant for a long time. And he's gone on to, I just kind of like follow him like from afar. But he's like, I don't know, president of a label right now. But I don't know where, but I remember Ben Adelson talking to me and then we're hanging out with Group Love. It was like the show was Young the Giant and Group Love. And I remember Ben telling me like, I'll help you with that, whatever you need. Like everyone's like, oh, Holychild. And then Eric from Young the Giant came to the studio the next day and was like, oh, I like what you guys are doing. And I was just like, oh shit. Like, and I had also like, okay, so Louis told me, I'm going to use these songs and someone else is going to sing it. And I was like, well, fuck that. I'm going to go to Cal Arts then, and I'm going to study voice, and I'm going to become an artist on my own. So I had studied voice like intensely for the audition for Cal Arts, and they were like, you're in. And I was like, really? So I had just gotten into Cal Arts, and that was kind of another impetus for him to be like, let's do a band. So I got the acceptance letter, and then he's like, let's do Holychild. And I was like, okay. And then I was in DC, and it just felt like everything was like, I was like, well, I got
coming
accepted.
Together.
Yeah. And I didn't end up going to Cal Arts. But yeah, that was kind of it. And then there were like a lot of moments in the early days that
felt right. I guess.
Yeah.
So you saying at that moment, like everything felt right. Did you have a moment where it stopped like feeling right for a while, like maybe long or short moments, or like some hurdles or obstacles?
I think that lately it's been really hard for me, like because it felt so right. There was so much happening, and like at that time I wasn't relying on it financially, Like I was waitressing, I was teaching, I was doing whatever I needed to do. I didn't care. And also things were cheaper. My rent was $600. Like I was living in this little room with a bunch of people. Like things are so expensive right now. And then I did have like, you know, flash forward, that was all in 2012. We were signed with the deal by the end of 2013. So it happened really fast. And our first record contract, like we had a big advance, and then I was like, wow, okay, great. And then it went like that for a little while. Then when 2016 was like when it all started falling apart. And then I'm like, my confidence is shaken a lot now. It's like even all the time actually. And it's funny how I had no expectations for a long time. So I think because of that, and it was just like kind of linear for a long time. So after the linear ride ended, then the confidence is like all over the place from there.
By all over the place, you say like sometimes you feel confident, sometimes not. I guess you're not like always like feeling you're not confident, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes I'm in and out. Like I have a song right now that's doing really well. It's like gotten 1 million plays this month.
Congratulations. That's great.
So cool. And I'm like, okay, people listen to my music, and then things happen where you're like, oh, that happened. You know, when I co-wrote that song for Future, I was like, hell yeah, I did that. Like that made me feel really good. Like you do a show, you feel really great. People are there singing, and then, you know, and then you do some like shit thing, and then you're like, oh fuck, like I thought I was gonna get paid more for that. Then you're like, oh damn, and then it's hard again.
It's very interesting because it's a very common thread we've had with every guest here. Is like even when things are going on, like sometimes you have like a show that doesn't go well or a moment that is tough, and I wanted to ask that question to you as well. As like, how do you deal with it then? Like how do you do, like for example, you have a bad show or you have a moment where you feel okay, it's not working like it was working like 2 weeks ago. How do you deal with that, and how do you like rebound, I guess?
That's a good question. I think the way that I can deal with when things feel like they're taking a step backwards is sticking to the plan. Like I have my plan, and that's something that to me Revenge Wife has been for me. It's like this thing that I lean on that just pulls me forward. Like when I don't know what I'm doing with my life, at least I know that I'm trying to make an album, and it's being made, and then I can at least like take little steps forward to it. And I think that it's been hard for me with the business stuff lately because there's so much going on, and it's overwhelming, and it feels like I'm doing something when I sit there on my computer and send some emails, but I'm like, lately I'm like, I don't care for that. I just want to make the music and make that really good. So just leaning back into what my creative plan is and what I need to make. Like, do I need to shoot a music video? Okay, like that show sucked. I need to make the video. Like
going to the next thing.
Just go into the next thing that I'm making for me, like creatively, rather than like, I need to find a manager. Oh, that show was weird for me. Let me send some emails for a manager. That's not going to work for me. Like, I don't like...
Changing the subject is a way to like deal with like something happening that's not going right in one field. Yeah,
and also like just... I realize like I get all my confidence from making something. Like there's no better confidence than making a song and playing it for myself in my headphones immediately after. It's like, I fucking did that, and it speaks to me, and it's there for me. And like, even if it's never released, like I have that thing.
It's interesting because you started in 2012 to work on Holychild and everything, and social media at the time wasn't as big or as important as it is now. How do you think it like changed? Like, how do you incorporate it?
Yeah, it has changed so much, right? Like in that time. I mean, when we started, like I did love Instagram, and like people have always been like, oh, I love your Instagram, that's so fun. And even back then, and I think the major thing was that it felt like a community forum in 2012. You know, you're posting, and it actually like really was there for my confidence. And I feel like as a person, I really evolved thanks to the internet, because I would be like, like, you know, in those early days, there's so many weird moments. So I was like, oh, I'm going to write about this. Like, I had an experience and like this person made me feel so weird. Like, I'm always vocal about those things. So like that would happen. And then people would respond like, oh my God, what you said resonated with me. And so I started feeling confident about being honest and vulnerable publicly. And that was really there for me. And I think now, like, really what's changed is like the algorithmic way of social media has changed. So it's like not so much a forum for, like, it was like a chat room, you know, where it's like people search for you, then they see your world and they can opt in, and then you have this like beautiful little thing together. And it's not so much reaching, that's not the way that you reach people who you don't know. Maybe every so often, but not really. You reach the people you don't know by doing shows or by opening or by your label doing a marketing campaign or a billboard or whatever, where now it's being used to like reach people that you don't know. And I don't really think that helps. Like, I mean, I have gone viral a lot this past year. I got like 40,000 followers in the past 2 months.
Yeah, I saw like one video, and I saw it because you were commenting about it, and you were like being fun stories about that video that you had with like 23 million views or something like this.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more, like, what happened? Do you know why? Or
oh my God, it's just like crazy. So like, it's a video of me on stage dancing, and it's like 9 seconds long or something, and it's just me dancing, and I'm a dancer, so I'm dancing all the time during my show, and I don't even sing in the song. It's like cuts right before I'm about to sing. And I'm like wearing a short skirt, though I am also wearing like dance tights, though you can't tell. It looks like I'm not wearing tights, but I am. So I'm wearing a short skirt, and like as I'm moving my skirt's like kind of moving up, but I come from dance competition world, so like if I'm doing a move and I'm having a clothing malfunction, like I'm not gonna touch it. That's how it is. And also I know that I'm covered. I'm wearing dance tights. Like even if it comes all the way up, like I have underwear on and I have dance tights on. The other thing is I'm not wearing a bra. And I just didn't want to wear a bra that day. And yeah, Kira, my assistant, took the video. She took a ton of video from that show. I just posted it, and I don't know, like not only does that video have 24 million plays, I posted it before, it has like millions of plays. I posted another clip from the show, it has like 45 million plays. I posted on TikTok, it has like 3 million plays. It's like for some reason
you cracked for not wanting it, but you cracked the algorithm of every social media platforms with that video.
And like I don't know, like it's funny because in the moment of that, in that moment I remember it so specifically, and I was so connected with myself. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna, like, because it starts off and I'm just kind of like moving, and then like I like lean in, and then I do it. And so it was a really connected moment. I think that can be triggering for people. You might not see it and be like, oh, she's so connected, but I was. So like maybe that's triggering. I think a lot of people, I don't know, they're like, the music doesn't even start, they're angry about that. There's like a lot of people who don't have their goals fulfilled, so they're like, oh, I am supposed to be a musician, but I can't do that because I'm a man in a basement who doesn't do anything. So I don't know, like I have so many thoughts on it.
I wanted to know, like, did you try to say, okay, this thing's happening, how can I try to make it so that people like are driven to my music thanks to this? Do you think about it, or were
yeah
you like
yeah I'm like kind of bad at it. I honestly am just like whatever, like it happened. I did like, I mean, okay, so it's been like a full like year and change that the video was taken in April of 2024. So like at first I posted it then and got like millions of plays all year. Then I posted it again in April, and then it's gotten like 24 million plays, the new one, since April. So yeah, I have had thoughts like, oh my God, I need to capitalize on this. But I think that that's what social media wants me to think. Capitalize on this, keep going, like post more. Like it's like, okay, I will, but like I want to do it the way I want to do it. And I just feel like that's my approach. And like if people see it and then come into my world and see my vibe and then they're like, oh, okay, now let me check the music out, that's cool. Like, I don't have a rush. I'm just trying to make my best album right now, and then hopefully put it out to people who are down with it. But I don't want to play that game of like having to like rush. It made me feel rushed. And I felt that the first time it went viral. I was like, what if this goes away?
Also because you've had like different moments where it was growing and rising and then stopped, and you're like, how do you feel about that? Like, do you fear now when there's something happening like that it's gonna go away? Or
no way. Now I'm like, I understand. I'm a cynical girl. I think that people are easily manipulated. I think that you can manipulate hype. Sadly, I feel that people will just jump on the bandwagon. Like, there's so many negative comments on that video of me, and how many of them are original? It's just like people looking at the same comments and then saying the same thing, and it makes me sad. And I think that it's kind of easy to manipulate hype if you want.
It's interesting because I remember a duo of like French rappers, and they had a video with like very like their lyrics were very like anti-system and anti-things, and you could see that the comments were very like negative about what they were saying, but a lot of people commenting, so it like made the video like grow and get them to like a lot of millions of views. But actually it made a lot of people go listen to the full track and full song. It's interesting because it had this kind of like split effect of the comments were very negative about like the people that were actually making the video grow were like the people that were angry about it or didn't like it. But a lot of people were like resonating with the actual lyrics and going to listen to it and liking it, but more silent. Do you feel that it's like the problem maybe on social media is like you see a lot of the negative, but you don't see the positive because people who like things, they say it less than the people that don't like something?
Definitely. Like, I have a lot of people who have followed me too, and I have to think that they're not like hate following me, because nobody does that.
That's weird. That would be really weird.
That'd be weird. So they're kind of like, and a lot of people are like, hey, I followed you now and I love it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, but I do think like, you know, that visceral reaction is kind of beautiful. And actually I'm used to it. I feel like I always do elicit a visceral reaction, and it's been like that for my whole career, even though now I am on like, it's weird, like Holychild was such a moment in 2015, but it feels like I'm on I have a bigger platform now than I did then, even though I don't know if that's necessarily true. It just feels,
at least you own it more, like you have more control over your platform now than you had before, I guess, because it's you. Yeah,
maybe. And also like the platform is social media, so I like have it on my phone. Yes. Whereas before it was just like people listening. I don't know. It just felt more disparate. So yeah, it feels different in certain ways.
I wanted to ask, what's next for you now? You've released songs quite recently, but you said you're working on an album. What is next?
Yeah, I'm working on an album. It's called Alien Witch. Each song is a different sign of the zodiac. So I've released Cancer and Aries so far, and I'm working on the rest. And I kind of did like announce it without it being done. I just didn't think anyone would care. And then people were like, yeah, all right, let's go. And then I was like, oh, it's not done yet. And I really didn't think anyone would care. So I'm trying to finish it, but I'm producing it myself. So it's my first time producing myself. I didn't produce those two songs myself. I kind of co-produced, and yeah, now I'm doing it myself. So just trying to figure it out and learn production a bit more. And I'm working on that, and I'm like writing a book right now, and hopefully that will be done in a couple of years. And
what is it about? Can you say?
It's kind of like a memoir-ish, and kind of about like all of these things that I've spoken about today, basically.
Yeah, based on the podcast, I want to read that book.
Thanks.
To like discover even more stories and things. So
yeah,
super
it's just
interesting.
like stories, and I have all of my journals from the past like 15 years. I have them all. So it's kind of like key moments, but then like explaining around it a bit, and then like essays on like being a woman and aging and things like that. So
interesting.
But yeah, that's been really fun. I'm working on that. I'm really excited about it. I'm trying to play more shows, but I don't know. Oh my God, I'm headlining my very first festival on Saturday.
Where? In New York?
It's a nude festival. So I'm going to play a show naked for the first time and possibly last.
Yeah, that's great. I would love to go to another Revenge Wife show. I saw you show at South by.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw you performing in LA as well, more like DJ set. Do you do a lot of DJ sets as well?
I do, yeah. I DJ a lot too. I love DJing.
Cool.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, you sing, you DJ.
Yeah.
You paint. Do you still paint?
I haven't been painting. Sometimes I'll like color with colored pencils, like in my journals, and do little sketches, but I haven't been doing that much.
Do you have a last word or last piece of advice you'd like to give some musicians that are listening to us, or just not even need to be an advice, but a piece of advice, but it could be like just something you want to say?
Something I want to say is, I mean, I'm just like so on like phone addiction right now. I feel like if you're listening to this, you should try to do like a month disconnected from your phone and see how that feels, and like take a break and see what you create, and let yourself be bored, and let yourself like, you know, write in your journal more. And I think that is really fun to do.
Love this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. This
Yeah,
was
it was
so
amazing.
fun.
Yeah, it was really cool. This was the Indie Pulse. We were here with Revenge Wife at Baker Falls. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned.